Hi, you guys. Good morning. Welcome to the Listening High. First and foremost, my name is Rochelle, and thank you for being here when you didn't have to be, right? It's Saturday morning. I'm drinking some coffee. I hope that you have something to drink too, because today's topic is about women, sisterhood, friendships, things that truly matter, ladies, that we need in our lives. So, first and foremost, I want to say a couple things. I made the original videos and I posted them, and I'm like, okay, my hashtags or whatever you got to post these videos to get the views is going to work, right? So I keep checking my dashboard, scrolling it up and down, and I'm like, the algorithm is going to rhythm. And then as the day go on, I'm like, the algorithm ain't rhythming, y'all. So in that moment, I had to get vulnerable and I had to get real with myself, right? I had to think, Rochelle, why is people gonna click on your videos? It's YouTube and the whole world outside is competing for views, likes, subscribers, the whole shebang, right? Girl, what is making you stand out? Even if the Lord is telling you this is what you need to do, it still don't mean that you different from anybody else that the Lord is telling that they need to do this, right? So I made a list of a couple of women who I felt like would really truly give me honest feedback, which was what I needed. So I drafted up this quick little blurb and I sent the video out. I sent the video out to my stepmom, who is younger than me. Yes, my daddy is outside wilding out, and I don't even know what he was thinking. I'm actually grateful for her though, because when I think of sisterhood, not only do I think of her as a mother, I'm older than her, but I still give her that respect. She's also my age, and so we have a lot of things that we can talk about, right? I can talk to her about my kids because her kids are the same ages. We can crack jokes about my daddy and him potentially going to the nursing home if he don't get it together and treat my stepmom correct or proper. And we can talk about marriage. I'm married and she's married, right? And some of our grievances are the same and some of them are different. But throughout it all, baby, I love my stepmama down. And even if I ain't rocking with my daddy, I'm damn sure gonna rock with my stepmama, my mom too, because we all have talked on the phone about him, whether he know it or not. So hey, so I sent it to my stepmom, I sent it to my stepsister, and I sent it to a collective of ladies, right? Mine is my stepmom and my stepsister. I sent it to maybe 4 or 5 other ladies. So when I sent it out, y'all, I was panicking and I was scared and I was praying, but I was worrying. And then in that moment, I thought, girl, listen, why are you worrying if in your previous video you told them to pray and don't worry? Ain't that what your mama told you? So, girl, I had to rely on my mom, right, y'all? I had to dig deep and think, what would Gibby do in this moment? And no, my mom is not Gibby. Gibbs is her last name, but I call her Gibby, and that's my thing, right? So anyway, I'm like, what would Gibby do? So I'm like, Gibby would pray and let it go. And Rochelle, if your mom is telling you to pray and don't worry about it, baby, pray about it and don't worry. If this is for you, this is for you, right? But then I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I was scared of the feedback because I was like, even though you outside telling the world that this is what the Lord is telling you you need to do, what if the feedback says, girl, look, don't you quit your day job working with the pharmaceutical company because the Lord has put some things on some people's hearts, and we all know that it wasn't for them. Think about how many people think they can sing, and we like, look, baby, that should have stayed in the shower. That should have stayed at the karaoke bar. That should have even stayed in your car. I'm one of them people, y'all. When I'm in my car, you is not about to tell me that I am not the artist that is on the radio at that moment, right? I wholeheartedly embody Frank Ocean. And I'm not a man. I will be Adele in my car, the black white version of Adele every day. Listen, I'm going to be Janae Aiko. I'm going to be SZA. Listen, I'm going to embody every artist at that moment when that song comes on and I feel the spirit, right? So we all know that some things is put on people's heart to say this is what they need to do. And we know that it's truly not they calling. How many people outside selling dinner plates? And we like, look, baby, the health department is gonna shut you down and you gonna kill somebody. So in that moment, I'm like, girl, look, you might need to keep your motivating to your employees that report up to you into your job, right? Into your kids. And I'm trying to motivate my husband, y'all, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And so I'm like, are you ready for the feedback? Are you really ready for the feedback, right? So then it happened, y'all. The first text came through and I was kind of scared to read it, but then it just popped up and said, when is the podcast? So I was like, okay, she liked it, right? Tasha liked it. So then she keeps texting me and all the messages are positive. And one of the messages she says, look, I really was trying to leave a review on Facebook, but I was crying about the situation with your son and I got so caught up in the tears that I couldn't leave the comment. Y'all, that did something to me in that moment, right? Sorry, I'm a crybaby. I got my stuff because I feel it coming on. It did something to my spirit in that moment, right? And I thought, man, girl, you told something that was personal to you and it resonated with somebody, right? Y'all, I don't know if y'all know what that's like, but for me, that was everything. She built me up in that moment and said, girl, listen, you need to do the podcast. So I'm like, okay. So I go on and I go down to do dinner and I miss a phone call from my friend Frida. And she calls, I call her back. And I said, hey, Frida. And she said, I was going to text this, but this was way too long. And I love the videos and keep going. And when you actually said to keep going, I needed to hear that. Keep going, right? And then she said some things that I needed to hear in that moment. And so then I'm like, Lord, I might be on to something here, right? I might be on to something. But the people that I was really waiting to comment back was my stepmom and my stepsister, and I never heard anything. But Lord, let me tell y'all how the Lord works. So the next text comes through, and it's from a young lady named Taylor. And she said, man, listen, I feel like you instantly drew me closer to God, and I needed to see this. I'm really going through some things in my life, and I feel like you spoke directly to me. Y'all, I had always said if I did this and I only got one person closer to God, right? All it takes is one. Then, baby, I did my job and I did what the Lord asked me to do. So then I'm like, damn, I'm doing it right. And I'm being honest with her. You know, I'm scared. Everybody, I'm telling them, I'm scared. And I don't know if this is for me. And the text came back from Taylor that said, do it scared, do it daily, but keep doing it. Even my friend Frida said, are you going to do this daily? Even Tasha, you going to do this daily, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this daily. And so just the women that built me up on that night meant so much. Whether y'all know it or not, ladies, it meant more to me than y'all will ever know. So yesterday, you know, I'm at work and I get a message and it's actually from the young lady Taylor. And she's in tears, y'all. And she says, I'm still thinking about your video from the night before. And I really needed to see that. And I'm just going through some things, right? And so in that moment, me and Taylor just talked, woman to woman, you know, and we were vulnerable with each other, which says a lot and takes a lot, y'all. It takes a lot to be vulnerable with another woman, right? We touched on relationships, kids, insecurities, the things going on outside, the things going on inside. We're tired, y'all. The world is tired. The collective is tired. I mean, we talked. And I needed to have that conversation with her. I needed to have that conversation with her for so many reasons. And when I think about sisterhood, the conversation with her yesterday made me thankful for any woman in my life, good or bad. No matter the times that we've had together, I'm appreciative. I always feel like I learned something right. I always feel like I left feeling a little bit more fulfilled than when I came, whether it be to the conversation, on the phone, in person, over brunch, at dinner, at work, whatever the case may be, right? So When I'm talking to her yesterday, and in the moments of being vulnerable, right, we just talked and I was telling her some of my fears about being on camera, right, and coming from behind the screen to the front of the screen. One of them was just nervousness. And actually, today, I feel like the nervousness is subsided and I feel a little bit more comfortable, right? And I think it's time, and people kept telling me to. I think with time, the comfortableness will come and the nervousness will go by the wayside. So, anyway, y'all, we're talking, and I'm telling her some things, right? And I'm like, face wise, I feel like I'm okay. And that was never a fear for me. The fear for me is my smile. Everybody outside want to be cocaine white, powder white in the teeth, and have straight teeth, and that's not the case for me. From the time I was a kid, I've needed braces, and my mom never got them for me. Now, I went to the dentist on a regular basis. Oh, my mom is serious about making sure that you keep up with all wellness checks. The dentist, the doctor, you're going to get checked from the rooter to the tutor on a regular basis, or at least we did in my house. And we stayed at the dentist, and my mom kept up with all hygiene, so that wasn't the problem. So now that I'm an adult and I've had kids, I have had some issues where over time, due to the way that my jaw is set, I have lost a couple of teeth up top, right? And so that really bothers me, and I want to get them replaced, but there's a couple things that I have to do, and I am working with the dentist to try to get this rectified. One of the things is, and I also have looked into braces multiple times as an adult, but I would have to get my jaw broke, reset, a lot of things that I just, at this point, have not had the time for. So I'm expressing this to Taylor, like my smile is something that has bothered me for quite some time. And then, in the midst of telling Taylor, my biggest insecurity, which is my smile, she comes back and says, "Can I tell you something?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she's like, "Girl, you're beautiful." Y'all, I about bust out in tears. And I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that in that moment, right? And then I had to think about it. Ro, you worried about this, but you ain't never had no problem getting bent over. You ain't never had a problem meeting some fine men. You ain't never had a problem when it came to dating. Y'all, from the time I was 18, I've had marriage proposals. Yes, I have had marriage proposals. I vividly remember I was dating this guy. He was so fine. He was 18. I'm 18. He's fresh in the military. I'm still in high school, getting ready to graduate, right? I'm from a military town. And my stepdad was retired from the Army. And I vividly remember the guy calling my house one night, caught me off guard, y'all, and asked my dad if he could marry me. Y'all, I hear my stepdad screaming, "Get in here! Get in here!" And I get in there, and my stepdad's like, "Who is Wade?" And I'm like, my boyfriend, right? And my dad's like, "He in the military? We don't condone that around here." And I haven't been dating a dude that long, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, but he fresh in the military. He my age, right? This is how I'm selling it. He 18. He 18. Girl, y'all listen. My stepdaddy was like 18 or not. No, we're not doing this. I know what these military dudes is like. He probably got a whole family back at home, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, he loved me." Y'all, my stepdaddy threatened that man with a good time. He threatened with going to his colonel on him because I was still in high school. And Jag, I think it's Jag. I might be wrong. I might be telling y'all some stuff that's wrong, but the story is still true. And my dad was like, "She ain't about to be saddled down with nobody's kids. She is not about to be saddled down as somebody's wife. And she ain't even graduated high school. My baby about to go outside and go to college and have a whole future." And yes, this my stepdaddy talking to this man like this, right? My stepdaddy was, is, and will always be the truth. Okay? Look, that man gonna get his flowers while he here and when he not here. So anyway, I'm like, is this dude really asking to marry me at 18? I was flattered, but then I was like, oh, hell no. I see homegirls with kids, and I was thinking, that's definitely not trying to be me. Not trying to be me, right? So when Taylor told me that I was beautiful, I had to sit back and think, y'all, Taylor is fine than a mofo. No homo here, but Taylor is stunning and could probably get any man. Any man. And when I first met her, I was definitely afraid of her because the face gives, I'm going to be honest, and I've already told her this, so I ain't telling y'all nothing I ain't told her. This gives resting bitch, but on the level of, oh, I'm fine than a motherfucker, but you don't want to F around and find out. Because I am not the one nor the two. That is the vibes I kept getting from her, right? And she reminded me of somebody from like Brooklyn or Chicago, just the style. She reminded me of somebody who could wear the b-ball cap to the back and be with a group of dudes, and they probably all be wishing they could smash, but they know that she is not the one or the two, and they ain't gonna try to F around and find out. So they rock with her and they protect her, right? Right? That's the vibe that I get from Taylor. But then I got introduced to her in a roundabout way, and I got to meet her, and I was like, I love me some Taylor down. Right? I love me some Tay Tay down, right? So here we are. Hey Taylor. And so again, just the conversation with her I needed. And then in that moment in talking to her, I was like, if now that we talking and we really was vibing, I had to think. There's some women outside, y'all, that we see in the limelight, celebrity style, that get cheated on all the time, or that are beautiful, and you like, man, you fumbled the bag with her? Really, dude? What was you thinking? Prime example, I'm only gonna speak for me, but Halle Berry is beautiful. And when I read that Eric Benet had been cheating on her, I thought, man, that woman is stunning, right? And what did you in your right mind think, or who did you think in your right mind could compare to that woman's looks, right? Let's just be real. I don't have a problem telling a woman she beautiful. I'm the woman, if I see you in the supermarket and I think that the lipstick is making you pop, and baby, I know it's giving you some tube that you didn't have without it, I'm calling you out. Hey girl, I love the lipstick. If this is given God, baby, I'm calling you out saying, look, that face is beat to the heavens, and I am so here for it. If the hair is herring, if the outfit is nice, I'm going the extra mile, y'all. It don't take much. It don't take much to build up another woman, right? And so for the ladies who built me up over these last couple of days, I needed y'all way more than y'all know, right? So when I also think about sisterhood, I think about our womanhood. I think about sometimes like what it's like when you have a friend that you can call and really be going through something and just call her up, and as soon as she pick up, the tears come out, right? I've had those times with my friend Crystal, and vice versa, her with me. Or we're talking and within the conversation a voice just wavers, and it's me a lot with my friend Crystal. And you just get teared up no matter the situation, because again, outside life is crazy and you can't trust everybody. And so when you have friends that you rock with and the longevity is there, and sometimes there might not even be longevity, right? You could have met them at a job, you might move to a new city, however you met them. I hope that they're the friends that ease and calm your nervous system, bring a sense of peace, make you feel like you can tell them anything, and know that if y'all fall apart, the world ain't gonna know your business. They not gonna run to social media. They not gonna tell their siblings. You know, it's not gonna come back to bite you in that moment from you being vulnerable with somebody who you trusted, right? And so for me, that's hard. Trust is hard. Finding true friendships can be difficult at our age, right? Navigating the friendship landscape. Prime example, I needed to have a conversation with my friend that I should have had a long time ago and didn't know how to, because I just didn't know how. But now I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I'm asking the Lord to reveal and to show to me, to help me with my boundaries, to help me with my truths, to help me with being honest with the people that I love and that matter to me. And when it comes to my friendships, oh baby, I value them down, 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 down. So back to what I was saying, I should have had this conversation a long time with my friend, and I did not. And some things happened over the last course of a couple of months. And so I ended up having a conversation with her. And the conversation was basically about us planning trips together. I would plan them, and oh, I'm a great planner, but would never follow through or go. And one of the reasons why I never would go was because she's my longest friend of 40 odd years. Y'all, my birthday is a couple days before Christmas. And so typically at the holidays, a lot of people's money is already tied up in gifts for their kids, right? Or for family members or whatever the case may be. So when you have a birthday that is in the winter months around Christmas, it's difficult. So I grew up in the hood when I was a little kid. I'm going to call it the hood. And she was the only person that came to the only birthday party that I ever had in a blizzard, and her cousin brought her, and we was probably 4 or 5. So I value the friendship with her, right? And over the years, we have grown up, fell off, got back together, and still are friends. And I value the friendship so much so that I was afraid of us going on a trip, something happening, and us falling out and not being friends. And I don't want to give too much context around why I thought that would be me and her, but I'm thankful that we ended up having a conversation because she's like, man, I had really been thinking, along these lines anyway, and I'm glad that you spoke to me. Y'all, I felt this sense of relief because I love my friend and I value my friendship with her, right? So much so that this is how I rock when we friends. If I feel like somebody playing with your time, baby, not on my shift. If I feel like somebody got ill intent to you, not on my shift. Prime example, I had to call a dude up for my friend at my ass age of 47. Yes, at this big ass age of 47, what you're not about to do is play with my homegirl on my time. And I knew that it was bothering her because it kept coming up in conversation, right? So in that moment, I said, look, what's his phone number? I don't want the nigga, but what's his number? She gave me the number. And I said, look, stay on the phone. Because what he not about to do is come back and tell you something that I didn't say in that moment, right? Because I've been there with somebody, and that's a hard pill to swallow. So, especially when you friends and a man is the reason why you not. And it ain't got nothing to do with sexual on why y'all not friends, right? So anyway, so she gave me the number, and I called him up. And then I was thinking, man, I wish this was the days of, remember, I'm dating myself, but remember when you can call somebody up, star 69 or three-way, and just get the call done and over with, so, and your number don't show up. So anyway, my number had to show up with my name, and he picks it up, and I instantly conference her in, and I know that she's probably on mute, quiet. And so I said, hey, hey, sir, this is Rochelle. Can I holler at you for a minute? I'm calling you on behalf of my friend. She didn't put me up to this. But baby, we need to talk because you're not about to play with my friend's time. You're not about to play with my friend on my shift. And we talked. And I was honest with him. And I even broke down in tears in that conversation, right? Because in that moment, I was compassionate and I was upset about what was going on with my friend. So we get off the phone, and I could initially tell when I asked her for the number that she was shocked. I know she was thinking, when's she gonna call him? How she gonna do this? We about to do this right now, today, with him, right? Because, baby, I value the friendship that me and you have. And sir, me and you don't have nothing at this moment, and so I'm okay with that. But what you're not about to do is play with my friend. And when I called, I wasn't sure what I was gonna get from him, right? Because he could have came back like a man and cursed me out. I could have been every B in the book. Baby, he could have manned on me. I don't even know if that's the same, but he could have manned up and manned on me and shut me down in that moment, and he did not. Y'all, instead what he did is he listened. As her friend, from me to him, he listened and he let me cry. And y'all, that man was compassionate, and we talked. And when we got done and I went back to my friend, she was like, girl, I wasn't expecting that. But what I liked is that she got to hear his view with him not knowing that she heard his view. And I'm sorry if y'all feel like that's a setup, but in that moment, she needed that, right? She needed the clarity. And I was thankful that I was able to help her get that. So when I say that I rock with my friends, and sometimes I feel like we rock with them and they not rocking with us, I'm going to tell y'all why. I hit on something a few minutes ago when I said that I asked her for the number and she was shocked, and we went on and we called him up. But prior to that, I had hit on something and I want to talk about it. So I had a girlfriend when we was younger, and I mentioned a man coming in between your friendship and it not being sexual. I'm 18. I'm young, working my little job. My friend had a baby. I'm helping her buy diapers and milk like I got a whole kid, and I don't. Y'all, I'm 18. And if my parents knew that I was doing that, I would have been So toast. But anyway, I'm helping her buy milk and diapers. I worked my little job at Hardee's, and so when I'm getting paid and my friend is struggling, I'm helping her out. And I was actually helping another friend who had a baby too, right? And so one night, my friend is in front. I had another friend who was my bestie who lived out of town. Y'all, I'ma date myself. This how much I valued my friendship with the girl that lived out of town. Remember when you used to call and it was like so much per minute, long distance? I think it was 10, 25. I don't know. My mom might have had MCI, AT&T, one of them. Anyway, I would call my friend in Kentucky like she was up the street at her mama house and run up the phone bill, and then my mom would get the bill and I would get hollered at, I would get cursed at, the whole shebang, right? But it didn't matter. I was still calling my friend Amanda like she was up the street at her mama house. So anyway, my friend Amanda's in town for the summer, and we go to my friend's house to pick her up from the boyfriend's house one night. He's supposed to be babysitting. We get over there. He over there fighting my friend, y'all, tossing her around like a rag doll. So in that moment, as her friend, I'm like, oh no. And so I tell my homegirl Amanda, I said, look, baby, I don't even know if you're trying to be involved in this, because I know you here from out of town for the summer visiting your mama. And I'm sorry if I'm getting you caught up in some BS right now. He ain't about to fight my friend. Girl, no, he ain't about to fight my friend. Y'all, we got out of my Cutlass Supreme. Yes, I had a 1982 white cocaine powder white brown seed Cutlass Supreme, right? And we get out. And I thought, sir, between the three of us, we should be able to throw you around out in this yard like a effing rag doll. Y'all, me and my friend knuckled up with that man, and we gave him a run for his money. And I probably wasn't 110 pounds soaking wet, but bro, not today. Not today. Y'all, we left there tired, beat down, wore down. That man was not giving up. And he wasn't even a man. He was in high school with us, but he was older than us, and he was the baby daddy of my friend, baby, right? So we left there with the story to tell and a couple cuts and bruises. But in that moment, I was like, shit, I feel justified and solidified in helping my friend get her lick back on this man who is her baby daddy, and he over here fighting her. And I was caught off guard in the moment that he fighting her, but then also in that moment, I'm like, he fighting her. Nah, hell no, help your friend, right? What would Jesus do? I don't know if Jesus would knuckle up with the man and go to war with him and get her other friend involved. But in that moment, baby, I did what I knew to do, which was to help my friend. So, long story short, some time goes by, and we're young, we in high school. She stops talking to me and don't tell me why, y'all, and it broke me down, because when I say that I was rocking with her, I was rocking with her, and she was rocking with me. Y'all, that took me out because I loved her as my friend. I think that was the first time I ever had to grieve the loss of a friendship, right? And it was hard for me in that moment, but I grieved like I had lost a loved one, because that's how close we was, and I missed her baby, and I missed a lot of things, right? And then we graduated and life happened, and we moved in the same complex near each other a couple years later, right? And we crossed paths, and we get, because the town I'm from is small, and we get in the talk, and she apologized to me for our friendship tanking, and then came back and said it tanked because the night that we jumped the dude, he got upset in his mind and fabricated a story to my friend, and the story was that I liked him and I tried to sleep with him. Y'all, if y'all don't know nothing else, let me tell y'all, in high school, that wasn't me. Y'all, I was the scariest, nerdiest, 110 pounds soaking wet, that ain't about to happen on my shift type of girl. I was focused on graduating, going to college, getting scholarships, getting good grades, being in the honors program. Laying up with somebody, baby daddy, and having a kid was not it. I told y'all, the dude proposed to me, and my stepdad said she is not about to be settled down with the baby and being somebody's wife. That wasn't in my, not for me. That's not what I had on the radar for me, right? So when she told me, I thanked her, and we even tried to be friends after that, y'all, and it just wasn't the same, and I couldn't do it. I've also had other friends that I valued the friendship, right? I mean, loved them down as adult women. And then it's like I'm growing and I'm wanting more for me because I have kids, and I want my kids to see me growing and developing and just doing different things in life. And my friend is staying stagnant, y'all, and staying stagnant. And I'm trying and I'm building her up and I'm trying to move her forward. And she's still acting like we in our early 20s and doing the dumb shit that we was doing. And I'm pretty sure at that time I was doing some dumb, wild shit. Right? Who wasn't in their early 20s jumping off the porch, acting stupid, acting like your life didn't matter in some cases, and hoping that your mama didn't know all the while, right? And being thankful at the same time that she praying for you, that your ancestors are, and leaning into Jesus all the while, but doing dumb stuff. At least that was me, right? So anyway, me and my friend, just over time, it just kind of fizzled out. But I mourned for her, y'all, and I missed her. I missed her. So recently I reached out. We've tried to do lunch a couple times, and it's just, I'm going to be honest, it's not the same. It's not the same. And so from me to y'all, I don't know if y'all grieve the loss of friendships, right? I do. And then in talking about friendships, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we talked about like trauma and how friendships can cause PTSD. And I didn't think about that, y'all. And so we talked about some things, and I had to think about it, and I had to mull over it. And then I seen a video on Instagram, and I thought I sent this to my stepmama, and we talked about this yesterday, and I found out that I didn't. But when I seen the video with the young lady on Instagram, it made me think about some things, right? And sisterhood and womanhood and friendships. And what I realized is some of us don't even know how to be friends. In the video, the young lady is at a luncheon or dinner with a couple of her friends, or so-called friends. I'm going to say so-called because at the end of the video, I felt like they wasn't her friends, and I'm going to tell y'all why. So anyway, she gets up to go to the bathroom, and when she leaves, they're recording, and you hear somebody say, she do this every time we come to brunch, lunch, or dinner. When the ticket comes, she always mysteriously goes to the bathroom. So in my mind, that's the first red flag, because I'm like, look, if this is a pattern for her, why aren't y'all talking to her and not recording, right? Why is the whole world about to know that your friend's money ain't money in, or whatever the case may be? So I'm thinking, but I'm still going on and watching the video. So she comes back and they give their grievances, and I hear a young lady say, you really gonna do this on my birthday? And then the young lady says, that came back and sat down from the bathroom, says, look, I only had lettuce and water. Y'all, listen. Listen. I used to have a big back just a few months ago, right? A big surly. When you put the bra on, you know, that meat, that's like meeting. I don't even know if that's the thing. But y'all know that meat that's meeting up back there, right? And I ain't trying to ever go back there in my life. But what I'm not about to do, y'all, and I'm going to be honest, I like food. So going somewhere and eating lettuce and water, that was my thought process, was like, if that's the case, baby, I ain't going. But then I thought, Rochelle, nope, take that out the vocabulary, because now in this moment you're judging, right? And you're judging to the level which you shouldn't. And even though you had a big back and that meat back there, listen, if you ain't never been big, I started out small. I told y'all I was 110 soaking wet. And then when I finally had my last child, it took me to have the last of the Mohicans to gain some weight. Then I think I got comfortable in the marriage, and, you know, happy weight came on, and y'all, that weight was waiting. And that back was so big. Look at that. It was like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it, but what y'all will not do, baby, when I was all of 210, insecurities and all, you could not tell me that I wasn't fine. Baby, them clothes was closing, and I used to always get compliments, so I used to be like, In my head, I used to be like, girl, you know you big, right? Your knees is screaming, you big, right? But then everybody else, hi, girl, you're not big. That weight look good on you. And I'm like, girl, your ass is big. So, ladies, she's sitting there, and she only had lettuce and water. So I'm thinking, okay, if all I have was lettuce and water, baby, I'm only paying for the rabbit lettuce and the water that Jesus made him damn self that should be free, right? So she really only paying for lettuce. And then I thought, that's like a garnishment on the plate, right? So she shouldn't be paying for nothing. So then in the moment, my mind said, because I don't know about y'all, but social media will send you down a rabbit hole and the comments will tell you everything that you need to know. So I said, get to the comments, girl. They was divided, half and half. Half of the people said, I did. Some people said, look, I deal with people like this on a regular basis, and other people said, I'm going to agree with the chick. I deal with people who know their money ain't moneying, and they know that when we go to lunch as a group or to dinner or to brunch, that we're all going to chip in, right? So if it's 10 of us, the bill going to be split 10 ways. So then they order drinks and food that they typically wouldn't order if it was just them. I felt that in that moment, right? And so then they still filming and they still giving their grievances and they arguing with her and they're going back and forth. So then she says, F it, I'm leaving. I'm catching me an Uber, and she leaves. So then you hear them say, somewhere in the video, somebody says, how is it that, she got money for Uber, but she didn't have money for dinner or for this meal? And I thought in that moment, how is that possible that she had Uber money but not food money, right? But then I thought, nope, here you go again, judging. Take the judgment out because you, again, don't know her situation. So you see her walking down the street and like in the median, and they're still filming her from the car. And they basically say, we knew this was her. This typical of her. And she says, y'all gonna let me catch a Uber for real? Y'all gonna leave me out here to catch a Uber? And they like, yeah. Yeah, she walk up to the car like she getting ready to hit the window. I told you she was wild is what you hear. Y'all, in that moment, so many things crossed through my mind. Like so many things, because I thought, if I'm solidly rocking with you and we homegirls and we friends, baby, listen, the world ain't gonna know that your money ain't money, the world ain't gonna know that you coming out and fronting with us, because technically that's what you doing, or not being honest with yourself and us, and you coming to not be embarrassed, but you really ain't got it. The world ain't gonna know that. If it ain't nothing else and we know that this is your pattern, either we should have had the conversation with you many lunches, brunches, and dinners back, or we all collectively of your friends, if we have it, just need to know that we just need to start helping you and picking up the tab some way, somehow. With the notion of knowing that sooner or later, we need to have the pertinent conversation with you that goes something like this. Hey, girlfriend, listen, this is some things that we keep noticing. Every time the ticket comes, you run off to the bathroom. And so is there a problem financially? If it is, and we spending money that you don't have, clearly, not in so many words, right? But we out spending money and you ain't got it. You ain't always got to come, or we can invite you less. Don't feel like you being left out or missing out if the money ain't moneying, right? And I would have said it in a fashion to where my homegirl would not have felt some sort of way, and she would not have felt attacked, and the point would have been made, and the whole world would not have seen in that moment how I felt about my friend and her finances, right? I also thought about this. It was evening time, or it was dark when the young lady was walking in the median, and the other woman is in a car. Y'all really gonna leave y'all friend outside to walk not knowing what could happen? And y'all filming her like this is cute. Y'all, I don't know what y'all do with y'all friends. I don't know how y'all maneuver in y'all lives. But what I will say is this. My friendships matter to me, right? And they matter so much so that when I'm giving gifts, I take my time to cultivate the gifts, right? I think about the things that matter. When my friend is going through something, I want to be there. I want to be the person that they feel like they can call. And even if no words are exchanged, words are exchanged. I want to be the friend that if we in each other's presence and you just need me to sit there and not say nothing, baby, I'm there for as long as you need me. You need groceries, you need whatever. If I got it, you got it. Young lady that reports to me was going through the hurricane recently. I ain't never met her, but we rocked solidly like old friends. And when I knew in that moment that she potentially needed shelter, I messaged her like, look, now I don't live in your state, but if you can get to my state, my home is open to you and yours for as long as you need, y'all. And She was like, thank you. And I'm pretty sure she was caught off guard, and I genuinely meant that. Girl, if you needed somewhere to go, you come here. You come here, right? Because your life matters and our friendship matters. And I feel like sometimes y'all play with each other, you know? Y'all backbiting, y'all stabbing, y'all smiling in the face, and when they walk away talking behind their back. I pray that y'all are revealed the women in your lives who you think are friends and are not, right? Because in my life, I'm asking the Lord to reveal, to show to me, and to remove expeditiously in the name of T.I. And the Lord is doing it quick, y'all. I mean, quick. Friendships falling by the wayside. And I'm grieving them, but I'm grieving them in the fashion of this is what the Lord is showing me that I need to do right. And then we also, as women, just need to know or learn when to read the room on the friendship and know when it has served its course or the season has ended and it's time to let go. I see that sometimes because I feel like sometimes we hang on to friendships out of familiarity, right? Our mamas grew up together, so we cool. We grew up on the same block, so we cool. We went to the same school, so we cool. And in reality, we don't know nothing about each other and we truly not friends. But the fact that the longevity is there, we scared to sever the ties or we scared to let the friendship go, right? We got to know when it's no longer serving us in the friendship. And if you around your friends and your nervous system is out of whack, baby, they're not your friends. If you friends with somebody and you can't call them and vent to them and tell them what's going on with you and feel comfortable telling them and know that if the friendship goes south, social media not gonna know your business. If the friendship goes south, they not gonna throw it back up in your face what you told them in the moment of vulnerability, right? And so I pray, if nothing else, on this Saturday, on October the 19th of 2024, that the Lord reveals to you, that the Lord sends you your tribe. Baby, I pray that you have friends that value you more sometime than you do you, right? Because a woman feeding into you when she don't have to and she going through her own struggle says so much. A woman building up another woman and holding and straightening up the crown, y'all, I have been blessed to meet some phenomenal women in my time. Prime example, my husband built me this house 2 years ago. It's been done maybe a year, I think, or something like that, right? But in the process of me building my house, and I don't know this neighborhood, there's a lady across the street, a black lady, that actually reminds me of my mom. And it's hot. It's the 4th of July, I think, one of the times. She don't know me from an ant hill or a hole of beans in the ground, right? And y'all, she came over with some barbecue. And I typically don't eat nobody's cooking. But in that moment, y'all, I felt like a Hebrew slave. I was thankful for the food. And in that moment, I was thankful for her. Because, again, it's the 4th of July. Me and my son and my husband over here shoveling gravel to be able to lay the foundation. And it was sweltering outside here in the Midwest, and I mean sweltering. Y'all, she came with burgers. She came with the whole gamut. Drinks. And she fed me, my husband, and my son. And now that my house is built and I'm her neighbor, she has not stopped pouring into me, leaning into me. You know, again, I say she reminds me of my mom in a lot of ways. And I think it's just that she's older and she has taken me under her wing in a sense, and I'm so thankful for my neighbor, Miss Terry, and her daughters for sharing their mom with me, right? And she has some phenomenal daughters. And so when I think about women and sisterhood, I think about the women that just come into my life and build me up and let me lean in and pour into them. You know, the people that hold space for you matters. I don't even know if y'all know that, but somebody holding space for you when they really in the trenches going through things matters, y'all. Somebody seeing in you what you don't see in yourself matters. When there's enough women outside being catty and competing, baby, competing with you like a trophy is gonna be won at the end of that. And you like, look, I ain't in my era of competition with nobody. I don't think I ever been in an era of competition with anybody, right? I'm my only competition and I'm just trying to get over the anxieties and the fears and the things that are holding me back day in and day out. I'm only trying to be the best version of me that I can be. I pray that today, as you go about your day, that somebody pours into you, leans into you, holds space for you. And if you do nothing else, I pray that you do the same for somebody else, right? Pull somebody forward. Be what somebody needs on this day. Y'all really don't know when you outside and you see a woman and you just say, hey, you're beautiful, what that does to them in that moment, y'all. Y'all be seeing the ladies' faces light up. I see it all the time. So, ladies, y'all are beautiful. Stop letting the world tell y'all that y'all not. Listen, when Taylor told me that, it did something to me. And so, F what you heard. If y'all feel like I'm not, y'all, the Taylor who is a bad B felt like I was and that and is. And so I'm leading with that. So, hey, Tay Tay. Um, and so, y'all, look, if y'all need a friend, Ro is here. Hey, if y'all need somebody to build y'all up in these comments, Ro is here. It's enough people outside causing division. I like all women. I love men. Don't get me wrong. I got 5 kids, so I'm gonna keep saying ain't no homo over here. But I love women down. I'm rooting for us. I'm supporting us from the sidelines, baby. I want you to win at all costs. And if nothing else, I pray that today is an amazing one for you. And if all you can do today is get up, then you did more than enough. More than enough, right? So, hey, thank you for tuning in to the Listening Hive. Thank you for letting me, Rochelle, vent about what I thought about friendships and how they matter and how women matter. And women, y'all do a lot. You know, we do a lot. We the mamas, we pushing our babies, we holding the families together. We the glue. We the glue that don't get recognition because we're not on a bottle that says Elmer's or whatever the case may be, right? I think that's the glue. It's been so long. Yes, Elmer's glue. And so you truly are the one holding the family together, right? And if you don't have a family, I pray that somebody is holding you together. I pray that somebody is holding you up. And when you're tired, take your time, baby, take your time. In the word of Maxine Waters, take your time. It matters, and you're not getting these moments back. So thank you for letting me pour in. Thank you for letting me lean in. I'm going to try to do this daily. If y'all see more videos from me today, it's because the Lord put it on my spirit and I got a lot to talk about. So here is to an amazing Saturday and a wonderful weekend.